Hello everybody, Bobster1984 here again. Newcastle United have beaten Crystal Palace 1-0 today in a performance that was fairly good. Quite enjoyed it. Decent atmosphere to James's part of the day. I think with the lineup there was really no surprises for me. I was quite pleased to see Wijnaldum come in for Perez, because I think Perez has been fairly poor lately. He's not really done a lot, so I was quite pleased to see Wijnaldum come in. I think Benitez's policy of changing the team is good because it keeps all the players on their toes. You've got to actually do something to retain your place, so it was good. Before the game, obviously, all the talk in the pub was about, is Pardew going to come up and obviously do a favour? Is he going to, knock out, sort of thing? But all of that was obviously, just banter in any way, because obviously, whatever he said in the press conference, I covered that in my preview video about obviously being desperate for Newcastle to stay up. Regardless, he would probably been happy if he come up and put it down. But anyway, that's just my opinion. The game starts. It's a fairly tense affair, and Newcastle really were the poor side in the first 15 minutes. Palace were better than us in every area, but they didn't really threaten. There wasn't really much really at Caldolo to really worry about. Newcastle then, started to get into the game a little bit more without really creating anything, and that's where my review of the first half ends, because really nothing happened in the first half of real note, apart from one challenge which was fantastic from Lascelles. You've got Connor Wickham, who is one-on-one steaming forward with Caldolo, and Lascelles from behind makes an absolutely pin-perfect challenge. It'll be on Match of the Day later if you wanted to see it, if you've not seen it yourself. It was fantastic, and that Lascelles, he's going to be a player of the future. Hopefully it's for Newcastle. In the second half, Newcastle come up with a lot more renewed belief. You can tell that Benitez has obviously got into them a little bit, told them to change a few things at half time. No substitutions. But Newcastle really did start, from the blocks, gone straight at them, a lot more attack and emphasis, and really looked like they were, on the way to bossing the game. And then we get a free kick in which, Andros Townsend hits the ball better than I've seen any Newcastle player hit it since Cabaye was obviously at Newcastle. With his left foot, it curls right in the top corner, and Newcastle go 1-0 up. Absolute delight everywhere. A lot of relief as well. And at that point, I think Sunderland were 1-0 down, so it was a lot of excitement in the crowd, and everyone's getting, happy that obviously everything was going our way at that point. Palace then started to creep into the game a little bit, but from that point, Newcastle really will look like the only team that were going to go on and score more goals. Until about the 70th minute or 75th minute, I don't know, Cabaye comes over for a corner and he gets absolutely lambasted by the crowd. And I was one of them, because I'm this firm believer that if a player plays for you and demands a transfer and then goes on strike, he doesn't deserve to then come back in the future with a different team and be cheered. And I'm not one of the people that were going to cheer Cabaye today. Forget about all this shit about him being a dreamboat. As far as I'm concerned, he doesn't deserve anything but being chanted what he is, a greedy bastard. Anyway, he puts the ball in, and then all of a sudden, Mike Dean, you think the ball's clear, and Newcastle are going to then progress with the ball. Mike Dean's got his hand down as if he's pointing for a penalty, and you're thinking, surely not. What's he giving that penalty for? Now, I haven't seen it again. Obviously, I was at the match. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. What was your take on that? I mean, was it a penalty? You tell me. I've not seen it until I see Match of the Day later. So obviously then there's only one person going to step up and take the penalty for Palace, and it was Cabaye, and you're just wishing he was going to miss, and he did. Caldolo with a fantastic save. Whether or not Cabaye missed it on purpose, we'll never know. I don't think so. Obviously, all that was just banter in the pub afterwards. But Newcastle survived, and then really for the last 15 minutes there wasn't really many chances. A few breakaways for Palace, a few nervous moments, but overall Newcastle held on, and I think deserved the 1-0 win in the end. So really, obviously delighted to get those 3 points, and obviously a little bit disappointed, tinged with sadness, because obviously Defoe scoring that last second penalty for Sunderland. But we're out the relegation zone. Obviously, so be it. Sunderland have got a game in hand. Who cares? We'll just concentrate on what we're doing. Palace have gone. It's now Villa next weekend away. you should really be beating Villa the way they're playing. But that's the next game. Newcastle can roll on. My man in the match is Andros Townsend. I thought he played really well. But also want to give shout-outs to Jack Colback, who played very well in midfield. And obviously I thought Tiote played very well as well. So long may it continue. And yeah, so that's it from me. My name is Bobster1984. Leave your comments down below. Tell us who your man of the match was and tell us what you think of the game in general. And I'll see you all later in the next video. Thanks for watching.